When I think, though, about shattering the glass ceiling or achieving success in any chosen field, I think there are two parts to that equation. One is, what do you do to prepare yourself for opportunities that come your way? And then once those opportunities come, what do you do to absolutely maximize your leadership potential in that situation? And one of the things that I think is so interesting is this incredible alignment between the mission of the Girl Scouts and the qualities that I think are really important for actually getting to that point. And when you think that the mission of the Girl Scouts is, or when you know what it is, which is to help girls build courage and confidence and character, and to make the world a better place, you know, that's about all you have to say. That covers a lot of waterfront around what it means to be successful in any field, whether it's business or medicine or the not-for-profit arena. And I think it's the development of these very, very personal qualities: sense of self-esteem, your true voice, your moral framework for how you view the world. And, you know, you can study income statements and cash flows, and these are the things that are, you know, the common lexicons in my world. But at the end of the day, I think what really distinguishes good leaders from, or great leaders from okay leaders from not leaders, is this ability to really be authentic and to come to each and every day with a spirit of a moral framework. And I just think the work that the Girl Scouts does, particularly in this initiative, which is called To Help Her Get There, I just think reinforces all of the things that we need so much in the world today, again, across many disciplines. And it's things like conflict resolution, team building, positive values. How do you think about interacting with others in your peer group? How do you think about your own self-esteem? And I think these are all things that eventually turn people into leaders. And so I just think it's an incredibly unique organization that offers that kind of guidance to young girls. Lord knows we need it in this society, and so I just feel like it's just this really wonderful alignment between the mission of this organization and what I think really defines leadership for today and I think years to come.
So thank you for that question. The way I'd answer it is to say that I actually practiced OBGYN for 25 years. The privilege that was bestowed on me because of that was probably best summed up when I think about what John Kennedy said, which is that to those whom much is given, much is expected. And it's through that lens of having the ability to be in folks' lives in that way and be in rooms and watch played out day after day how the importance of education and economic self-sufficiency impacts health. That is, that those folks who have access to much, they're far more engaged in their health, they're far more activated, and yet on the other side also being able to see day after day the impacts of not having access to economic opportunity and education, either in the lens, either through health literacy or the lack thereof, played out. And so in terms of how that informs what I get to do every day is I'm absolutely passionate about and committed to helping us as a community make sure that every kid has the opportunity to get a good education and achieve those dreams that they want and that they need. And the advice I give in terms of how it's informed what I get to do, and I get to do what I get to do because I work for a fabulous company and I'm married to a fabulous man. And I've got great kids and I'm surrounded by fabulous people who've just enabled me to kind of do what I get to do. And the advice I'd give to girls is through that lens is be very present. Take in what you're doing, take in the experience that you have the opportunity to be, you have the privilege and the opportunity to be part of, and then take time to reflect on how does all that connect to the bigger picture, that is this thing that that we call community. And then figure out and let the world shape how it is that you end up. Because I sure didn't see any of this coming. Saw myself with forceps and a baby in my hands until the day that I retired. And it's just fabulous to be part of wonderful communities getting to do what we do. And that's what I'd say is that, you know, it's amazing what doors open when you say, I'm here, I want to roll up my sleeves and help. And just always remember, we are so privileged in this country to get to do what we get to do, and therefore much is expected of us, and be ready to do it.
The question is really, how did you get started down that path of volunteerism, and what do you feel like is done most to shape you in your career and in your life?
Well, it's really interesting that I was involved. My very first volunteer effort happened on a political campaign, and very timely with the presidential election right around the corner. And I thought I was going to lick stamps and address envelopes. Silly me, because it truly shaped the first civic engagement, I think, that I was really aware of. And it brought me very close to my city because I started to think about things like growth and economic development, inclusiveness, and there were so many really big, important things that were in that race. Convention centers, baseball team. So I learned a lot about myself. So that's really what I think kind of started it, and it just kind of steamrolled into then other nonprofits that I valued around women, women's issues, education. But as I grew into the nonprofit world, I realized that there were so many things that I could offer that I didn't really know about. Someone else had to point that out to me. We all have something to offer. And then once we get onto the board, we don't have to think about, is this exactly my field, or am I qualified to do this? But more importantly, what do I do best? And I think I've taken that onto every board to make sure that what I contribute is what I do best. So.
As we saw in the video, there's such a fine line and such a balance between being healthy and a healthy weight, but not going overboard and being too thin. And so my message to girls who are trying to lead healthier lifestyles is to try and focus on being healthy and be a healthy weight, not focusing on being thin, not focusing on what messages we're seeing in the media, and to really be incorporating small steps in their lives that can result in sustainable change. Little things that can make a big difference, like taking the stairs instead of the elevator, drinking less soda, eating less junk food, drinking more water and fruits and vegetables. Lots of little steps that, if sustained over time, can result in a much healthier lifestyle.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say what Camp Discovery is a 2.5-day event for women who are full-time wheelchair users to come and do fitness and adventure activities, be around other women in the same situation, create a support group, create friends, and to do things together. And we just finished Camp Discovery in Empire at the Rocky Mountain Village, and one of the campers that, I have so many amazing campers. First of all, let me say, we had a 76-year-old woman with MS careening down a zip line and just screaming in joy the whole entire time. And to see that was just absolutely remarkable. But what really stood out for me was a woman named Michelle who came from all the way across the country from Georgia. She is a quadriplegic, which means she uses a power chair. She has no use of her legs and limited use of her upper body. And when she came, she was so scared to come to camp. She even sent me email after email leading up to the event saying, I just don't know if I should come because I'm not going to be able to do anything and I don't want to pull everybody back. But she came to camp, and at camp what we do is make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to do every activity. And this woman was able to get into a sled and play ice hockey. She was able to get into a kayak, an adaptive kayak, and kayak in the swimming pool. She did yoga, she rode a horse, she went down that same zip line, and it was just amazing to be able to see this woman who didn't think she was going to be able to do anything, be able to do everything at the end of the weekend. And when she got back home and she called me, she said, Trish, you know, I used to refer to myself as the girl in the wheelchair. If If I was meeting somebody who I didn't know, I would say, oh, you'll recognize me, I'm the girl in the wheelchair. And she said, but I had this realization, this breakthrough at camp, and I realized that I'm not the girl in the wheelchair after all. I'm just Michelle. And I realized how empowering it is to know that it doesn't matter what kind of package we come in. It doesn't matter if your size or your shape or your mode of transportation. She said, we all are beautiful women. We all are beautiful people. And that was what I will take away from that camp, is that empowerment of knowing that I can do anything that I set my mind to.
And I think it's important to say, first and foremost, I have nothing to do with the success. We are surrounded with tremendous student athletes and outstanding coaches that provide great leadership. But the message I give is it's a privilege, not a right, to represent our institution, to represent each other. Much like wearing a Girl Scout uniform, it's a privilege, and it's one that you have to earn every day. Other things that we talk about is winning in life, winning in athletics is a byproduct of doing little things right every day. There's no shortcut to success. There's no easy way. It's a lot of hard work, and you might as well do it right the first time. And probably most important, believe in what you're doing. And wherever you go, whatever you do, lead with your heart. Because if you have passion, you have heart, and your intention is noble, success will come. So I'm blessed. The success is the people. Thank you.
You've given a lifetime of service to Girl Scout. Can you tell us the most important gift that Girl Scout has given you?
Well, I often say that Girl Scouts gave me my MBA through all the management opportunities and educational opportunities that Girl Scouting affords to its volunteers. But truly, I think the greatest gift was the people. And many of them are here in this room tonight. It kind of all started with a brownie in my troop who learned to use a can opener on one of our troop cookouts. And she went home and wanted to open every can in her kitchen because she was so proud of her new skill. And then came all the leaders that I worked with, and our organizational chart used to look different, so there were a lot of committees and task forces and community leaders working with the board of directors and numerable task forces for this and that, and capital campaigns, and I can't forget to mention the staff, because often they don't get remembered, but Girl Scout staff. And then at a Gold Award lunch, or a couple of Gold Award lunches, I met some amazing people like Sally Ride and Debbie Reynolds. And I was fortunate enough to go to the White House and meet a First Lady. And that's about the time when it kicked in that, hey, Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore. And there were just innumerable people on the national level, and Girl Scout people are just the best. If you want to get something done, ask a busy Girl Scout to do it, and it will be done. So I think the people have just been fabulous and a great addition to my life.